Hey there, beautiful people. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Emily from Emily's Art Journey, and today I'm going to show you how I draw some different views of cherry blossoms, and then I'm going to show you how I painted this using gouache. So let's get started just drawing a few of them. I'm breaking it down as easily as I possibly can for you, so I hope that you're going to join me. And I am using just a sketchbook today, 68 pound. It's very smooth, acid-free paper. So the easiest way to break down flowers is by kind of starting with a loose shape. So for this one up here, I just started with, let's go over here, a circle, making it basically the relative size that you want the flower to be. In this one, the center is not exactly in the center of the circle. It's down a little bit because these petals are going to be a little shorter because they're kind of folded up a little bit. So I kind of just mark where I want my center to be. And then there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals. So I'm just going to make like little spokes basically, and these are just kind of a place to mark. They can be adjusted depending on the size that you want each petal to be. Just that a little bit. And then you can loosely put in the shapes of the petals. So I just will start kind of creating the shapes that I want. And there's so many different views and versions of cherry blossoms and all kinds of flowers, so it's great to look at reference photos of actual real life cherry blossoms, which I did. I looked at a lot of different versions and views, and again, it's great to get reference photos off Pixabay. You can also get some off of Pinterest. So down here, like I said, these are going to be a little bit shorter. So the petal, instead of making it like this, it's going to come out and be a little bit shorter because it would be curled in like this. So then the rest of the petal would be kind of on the top. So it's curled in. So it's going to look also a little bit wider. And again, this is a loose interpretation. It's not necessarily exactly realistic, but it's a really fun way to, learn how to draw flowers. Kind of take out the stress of it not being perfect. Have them overlapping a little bit. And then this one's folded just a little bit as well. And then you can go back in and really kind of shore up the lines. And they're a little bit wavy, a little bit squiggly, and they're a little bit thinner towards the center. And this one can be shortened up a little bit as well because I had this one folded over too. And you just kind of make adjustments as needed. You can erase your extra lines. And using gouache, you would not see your pencil lines because it's opaque. So I don't worry as much about erasing. I will erase a little bit so that it doesn't smear. But you want to look at different views of the cherry blossoms, because when it's a sideways or front on, or even like 3/4 closed up, the petals are going to have a little bit different view. Okay, so then this one is done, and then it has the little seed pods or whatever they are in the center here. I guess it's the stamens, I think is what it's called. Then you can have the stem kind of coming out wherever you'd want, or the branch. It's really just kind of like attached to the branch. All right, let's do this little guy here. I make kind of like a half circle and then barely have it curved at the bottom. And then I put in the beginnings of what the stem would be, or the branch. There's a little bit of a stem where it's connected to the branch, but again, I'm just showing you loosely how to draw these. And then again, you only see 4 petals this time because of the way that it is facing. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then again, make adjustments as we need to. Actually, there is 5 right there. So this petal's in front, so you would see all of it. And again, the shapes are kind of wonky. And then you'll only see a part of this one because part of the leaf is behind that front one. And then you'll just see a partial of this one as well as this one over here. And then there's just a little bit showing here. And then I just loosely put in the part that, like, it would be the greenery that attaches the stem. Okay. And then the bud is super easy as well. It's basically just an oval. And then it's obviously kind of folded in on itself. So you could show one petal kind of off to the front. Again, kind of squiggly. And then where they kind of join in the center here, you would see part of those 2 petals as well. And then this is where it connects to the stem. And then you can erase your lines a little bit, and then the stem could come out of the center there. And then when I start to paint, directionality matters. I've talked about this a lot of times, because the way that you put in the lines shows you the direction that the petals are going. So here in this open one, from the center you would go kind of straight out, but then you're going to follow the contours of that petal so that you know that it's kind of branching out but folding in on itself. So it's kind of straight in the center, and then you're branching out following the outside line. So it tells you which direction the petal is going. All right. And you'll see this more whenever I do paint them in, because those are the exact same movements that I will make with the paint. So let's get into the gouache. I use a few Posca pens and then several colors of gouache. I use a little bit of the white alongside Opera Red, and I used a little bit of Pearl Bubblegum Pink. That's the highlight, kind of the metallic-y highlight that you can see. And then I used a mixture of carmine, burnt umber, and burnt sienna to create the branches. And then I used aqua blue for the background. Of course, you can use any colors that you want as far as the background, even with the colors of the branches, and even with the colors of the cherry blossoms themselves. Again, they come in different shades. They're not all necessarily created equal, so I was just playing around with the different gouaches that I had available to me. I guess I could tell you a little bit about what gouache is. This is acrylic gouache. It's loosely like what acrylic paint would be. you can't move it like you can regular gouache, because regular gouache is like an opaque version of watercolor, so it could be reactivated. Acryl gouache cannot be reactivated. It's just like acrylic paint, and it dries with a matte finish, whereas acrylic paints dry with a little bit of a sheen. So it's fun to work with the different mediums to see if you want it to have like a little bit of a shine to it, or if you want it to be more of a flat wash. I don't work with gouache a ton, but I thought this would be a great time to change it up a little bit with the birth flower. So I'm gonna get reset, and then we will start painting with the gouache. This will be sped up a little bit because it did take me quite a while, so I trimmed it down a little bit. You can slow it down if you need to, but it is basically the full tutorial. I will pop in every once in a while just to kind of tell you what step I am on and what I am doing. But besides that, I hope that you will learn something and that you will try working with gouache on your own. And yeah, let's just go ahead and get started.